I'm aware of how destiny is gonna take its course, brother. Brothers, brother. I'm fighting for life, brother. Somebody, brother. When I set my eyes on you, brother. Brother. They'll be trying to drink their own sweat to survive, brother. Vietnam 20 years ago, blow my brother's legs off. Brother.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Jay?
What it is, Steely.
Glad you're back, dog.
Oh, so you wanna roll with Steely Mo? The only dude on the mic with a killer flow. He get his dough and they all wanna kill him slow, but he gon' take you for a ride.
So here we go.
Oh, so you wanna roll with Steely Mo? The only dude on the mic with a killer flow. He get his dough and they all wanna kill him slow, but he gon' take you for a ride.
So here we go.
Oh, so you wanna roll with Steely Mo? The only dude on the mic with a killer flow. He get his dough and they all wanna kill him slow, but he gon' take you for a ride.
So here we go. G. Thanks, Jay.
Hey guys, and welcome back once again to Steely's Corner. This is episode 5, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? In this week's episode, we're going to take a look at brotherly love throughout horror, wrestling, and Funko Pops, plus a pair of unlikely brotherly heroes that must come together for a common bond. Also, we're going to take a preview of the biopic based off a man who apparently thinks everybody is his brother. Brother! Also, the highlights from this weekend's exciting Elimination Chamber and its devastating ending. But before we get started, make sure you crush that like button, smash that subscribe button, and share this to all your friends so we can all help Steely's Corner make geek culture come to life, because here we go.
A good friend of mine once said, "The price of freedom is high. It always will be." It's time.
WandaVision blowing our minds and unfortunately coming to an end, we do have a shiny beacon of hope, and it's Captain America's shield. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is either going to be running parallel to or happening just after WandaVision, and also acting as a precursor to the upcoming Loki show, all of them premiering on Disney+. They're kind of using the three to set up some things in the future of the MCU. And Marvel, I really love all of these shows, but come on, give us a movie already. We're dying here. Anyway, in this show, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan return as Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes to reprise their roles as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Trying to deal with a world after Captain America, well, let's say, took a time vortex retirement? Don't ask. He leaves his shield and his legacy to his two best friends who could not get on the same page even if it freaking killed them. They are striving to put the puzzle together on who should take over the mantle of Captain America. Stop the government from giving the role to a watered-down shill U.S. agent, a guy that is so unworthy of Captain America's legacy, while also trying to stop a returning villain, Helmut Zemo, coming back from his role in Captain America Civil War. In this action-packed, buddy cop-esque show, we have some of the funniest moments, some of the most exciting fight scenes. Where WandaVision was focused more on the humor, this is more of a superhero meets Lethal Weapon type of setup. Speaking of WandaVision, we're also supposed to see eventually some kind of crossover to the stories. Like I said, some things I've read said they're running parallel or they're running just after. We may get a flashback of what Sam and Bucky were doing during the events of WandaVision, or who knows, they may end up in Westview at some point in time, or be present when Vision's body has been taken. Sorry if I threw some spoilers out there for those of you who aren't quite caught up on WandaVision, but come on guys, get with the program. This new and very, very awesome show will be premiering on Disney Plus on March 19th, just mere weeks after WandaVision has come to a conclusion. Now, with these three shows, like I said before, they're going to be connected together in some way, shape, or form, but each one of these shows, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki, are all individually set up to set up the next three big movies in the MCU, not counting Black Widow, whenever the hell we're supposed to be getting that. WandaVision is supposed to be setting up the events for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, whereas Loki is supposed to be setting up Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And this show, Falcon and Winter Soldier, is supposed to be setting up Avengers: Secret Invasion. I've also read some rumors that some of the main cast from the MCU are supposed to be returning for one or more of these series, as kind of throwing in the heavy hitter just to let you know how serious Disney is being about pushing these movies in the future. Because I also heard that Thor or Steve Rogers himself are going to be coming back for maybe their roles or dark versions of themselves. However, it is very clear that all of these movies are going to be setting up the next Thor movie, which is Thor: Love and Thunder. And speaking of Thor, wonder what he's up to right now. Shall we check in on our favorite hammer-throwing, beer-guzzling god of thunder? Brother? If you think of pro wrestling and you think of the word brother, there is only one person that should come to your mind. That's right. Brother Love Bruce Pritchard, the beat-faced, white suit-wearing Okay, alright, I'm kidding. Hulk Hogan! Brother! In late 2019, news broke that Netflix was going to be producing a Hulk Hogan biopic simply titled Hulkamania, and the only name that was set in concrete for this entire project from beginning up until now has been Thor himself. Yes, Chris Hemsworth. As Thor began to bulk himself up to Hulk size, no, not the green one, the red and yellow one. Brother! He is set to play the real American, Terry Bollea, better known to us as the Hulkster, Hulkamania man himself, Hulk Hogan. This is not a traditional setup for a biopic, whereas they would go from child to fame to fall. This story seems to want to pick up right in the beginning of his rise to the top, starting us off in Madison Square Garden, where an up-and-coming Hulk Hogan faces the evil Iron Sheik for the WWF title. Following him through that, facing Andre the Giant and the Ultimate Warrior, and of course, the Mega Powers with Randy Macho Man Savage. Oh yeah! Stop doing Slim Jim! Following his departure from WWF to WCW, his formation of the NWO, the epic battle with Sting, then the fall of WCW, his subsequent return to WWF, his one-on-one match with The Rock, and finally ending with his induction into the Hall of Fame. Now, I think it's a safe place there for them to stop telling Hulk Hogan's story, because anything after that starts getting a little murky with TNA and that whole videotape scandal and the Gawker trial and the racism. Booker, we can't say that on this show. No. Booker, no. But I am curious if they're going to mention any of his, offshore dealings, like how about when he was the spokesperson for a Japanese air conditioning company?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And at the end of the movie, are there going to be franchising options for the fledgling Pastamania? Who wouldn't want a Hulk Hogan themed pasta experience? I mean, Brian Zane agrees with me. I agree too, brother. A who's who of Hollywood names have been attached and then detached to this project as time has went on, but I'll tell you what I know as of the moment where it stands. WWE manager and former president and captain of creativity for ECW, Mr. Paul Heyman, will be playing Gorilla Monsoon. Married with Children and Modern Family star Ed O'Neill is set to play classy Freddie Blassie. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is supposed to be playing his father, Rocky Johnson. The Big Show will get a chance to step into his kayfabe father's shoes as Andre the Giant. That's a good pick. And this other guy, Dwayne Johnson, playing himself? Ah, come on, Rock. Give us a break, man. I mean, we know you're good, but pump the brakes, brother. Also notable mentions on this casting is Lady Gaga being cast as Miss Elizabeth, Joe Magliana from Magic Mike and True Blood fame, possibly playing Randy Macho Man Savage. Also behind the camera, we've got some pretty heavy hitters as well. Well, you've got Hulk Hogan and former WCW President Eric Bischoff as producers and also as creative consultants. Todd Phillips, famed for the Joker movie, in the director's chair. And speaking of producers, also have Lady Gaga's co-star from A Star Is Born, and oddly enough, Chris Hemsworth's co-star from multiple movies in the MCU, Bradley Cooper, like I said, as a producer, but also slated to play Vince McMahon. Wait a minute. So if this storyline is following Hulk Hogan's life to his Hall of Fame, right before he went in the Hall of Fame, he had a match against Vince McMahon. Do you mean the conclusion of this movie is going to be Thor versus Rocket Raccoon? I mean, really, guys? You know what, on second thought, I'd pay money to see that. Hell yeah, I'll take two. So after Mr. Hemsworth got the blessing from the Hulkster himself, this WrestleMania-sized feature will only be available on Netflix. Release of Hulkamania is set to be spring of 2022. Watch it with your brother. Brother? And guys, I'm going to give you a quick recap of what happened this past weekend at Elimination Chamber. First up was the Elimination Chamber match for Roman Reigns' Universal title, but not winner wins the title. The winner of the Chamber gets to face Roman in a match immediately following. So essentially, the winner has to fight twice. This Chamber included Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, and Baron Corbin. This match had some of the best veterans that the company could offer, and Baron Corbin. But in the end, it was a flying knee from D-Bry to the Swiss Superman's face, the 1, 2, 3, and Daniel was ready to face Roman Reigns. Well, he wasn't quite ready. Roman stormed to the ring without giving Daniel a chance to regain his footing, pummeling him. D-Bry put up a valiant effort with a couple of strikes, but some clubbing blows to the back of his head, a powerbomb, and the guillotine choke leaves Roman the head of the table. Daniel Bryan couldn't topple him. But, surprise twist, not really, saw this coming a mile away. A spear from Edge out of nowhere took Roman right out of his boots, and he made his intentions very clear as he pointed to the WrestleMania sign proclaiming spear versus spear. Roman, I want your ass at WrestleMania. Oh, thank you, God. We got a brand new US champion, and it's about damn time as Matt Riddle put on a great showing in a triple threat match against John Morrison and the, at the time, champion Bobby Lashley. After a series of really wonderful and, quite honestly, confusing scuffles inside of the ring, Riddle rolled up John Morrison for the win and took the title right out from Lashley without him even being part of the end result of the match. Way to go, brah, or brother. Moving on to ladies wrestling, this one was kind of sad that this was the only showing for them on this pay-per-view, but you know what? They still did a decent job here. in what was kind of an overbooked match, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retained their women's tag straps over top of Sasha Banks and Women's Royal Rumble winner Bianca Belair. Like I said, it got a little convoluted, but was still overall a decent match. And finally, my man Drew McIntyre defended his WWE title inside the Elimination Chamber against Sheamus, Matt Hardy, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Kofi Kingston, because The Miz lost like a wee little baby last week on Raw and lost his spot to Kofi Kingston inside the chamber. Okay, I won't do the voice the entire time, but it was a hell of a match. It was really fast-paced. It was honestly my favorite match of the night, but where does my opinion really even matter? Hard-hitting, the stuff with AJ Styles getting popped out of his pod by Almas trying to get away from Randy Orton's Rampage and then him stopping him at the entranceway thinking he's going to get hit was priceless. But in the end, our boy Drew came with the Claymore and kicked AJ's head almost clean off of his shoulders for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath, still your WWE champion. Man. Damn it, man. The Miz. The effing Miz. Ugh! The Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank, hit a skull-crushing finale, and pinned a very exhausted Drew. And now your new WWE champion is awesome. But I really enjoyed Monday night when he was threatening to get his ass beat by Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. Good luck, Miz. Your ass ain't making it to Mania. Make sure you stay tuned here for the latest and greatest of happenings in WWE. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe this video and help Geek Culture stay alive here on Steely's Corner. On to the next one. Look, y'all. I know I was supposed to win, but I'm still trying to put everything together. I got in the Eliminator Series, in the pod, in a cell, and then Pandalarium broke out, and I banged on the glass of the cage match door and said, "Almost get me out of here." And I started running, and then I saw a snake, and I got scared. So I ran in the ring, and then before I know it, some big Scottish guy kicked me right in the damn face. And then this guy from the real world came running down the ramp with a big ass green lunchbox, and then he walked away with my title. I don't even know what the hell is going on. So I tried to go in the back and ask Dixie Carter what the hell was going on. What? I don't work for TNA anymore. Drew McIntyre kicked me back 10 years. Oh God, Kenny and the Bucks ain't gonna like this. I gotta figure this out, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. It is not uncommon for us to see wrestling organizations try to make us believe that two complete strangers are actually related and actually brothers. Kane and Undertaker? No, not really brothers. Edge and Christian? Best friends, but nah. Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley? But in some very special circumstances, we do get honest-to-God blood siblings in the ring in professional wrestling. We've had some awesome brother duos in wrestling history. We're talking about Rick and Scott Steiner, Booker T and Stevie Ray, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Usos, the Head Shrinkers, Matt and Nick Jackson, also known as the Young Bucks, the Briscoes, and not to mention all of the damn Hart brothers. Brother! Smith, Wayne, Dean, Ross, Bruce, and of course, Owen and Brett. All had made their mark in wrestling history as being real brothers. But today, I wanted to showcase some pops that were brothers of a extreme caliber. That's right, I could only be talking about the charismatic enigma and the broken ones themselves, Jeff and Matt Hardy. The Hardy Boys. Now don't fight, guys. Don't fight. Stop fight. Okay, are you kissing or are you fighting? Anyway, seen here in their WrestleMania 33 attires when they made a thunderous surprise return after being gone from WWE for almost a decade, combined, give or take some change here. They came into the beginning bout of Mania 33 and what was supposed to be a triple threat ladder match for the Raw Tag Team titles, which ended up becoming a fatal four-way after the New Day announced these two were coming back. They ended up winning the damn belts in the ladder match. I mean, it was their specialty. But outside of them being one of the most notable and decorated tag teams of all time, they both have had legendary careers in their own right. Now, it's not uncommon for wrestlers, especially when they have siblings, or even tag teams when they split up for individual runs, for one to have more success over the other. We all know the tale of Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, because half of you just went, oh, I know who Shawn Michaels is, and the other half went, Marty who? But that was almost the case here. For the longest time, Jeff was pushed really hard as a main eventer, winning championships and going on singles runs, while Matt didn't fare quite as well, but still had notable feuds and rivalries over the years, but kind of stuck lower on the card. But over the years, as time went on, Matt got hit with his broken gimmick and skyrocketed, some say even, but I think in some cases a little bit above Brother Jeff. More story, more action. So you take your pick of which flavor of Hardy you want. But together, they are one unstoppable force. And this shows right here that over time, your brother can be your best friend. I mean, it's wild to think that both of these guys have been champions in multiple different companies over what's almost 3 decades now. And to think these two came up with Gangrel as replacements for Edge and Christian in the Brood. They were pretending to be vampires. Vampires. Brothers. Now, what movie could I possibly do that had vampires and brothers in it? That's right, guys. I could only be talking about the 1987 Joel Schumacher comedy horror masterpiece, The Lost Boys.
Michael and Sam have just moved to Santa Carla, California. They're about to discover its secret.
Notice anything unusual about Santa Carla yet?
No. It's a pretty cool place. If you're a Martian.
Or a vampire.
So where are you? The flying nun?
I'm your brother, Sammy. Help me!
This late 80s instant classic, we follow two brothers, Sam and Michael Emerson, as they move to the fictional town of Santa Carla, California, with their recently divorced mother to move in with their kooky grandpa. And I do have to say, Grandpa is the frickin' highlight of the entire movie.
Yeah, we having fun or what?
So we were going to town.
That's as close to town as I like to get.
But once this small family settles in for their first couple nights in the beachside boardwalk town, they notice that there's some strange happenings afoot beneath the glow of the sand-covered Ferris wheel that sits right on the pier. Michael and Sam get separated after attending a bonfire concert on the beach, and they separately discover that the little beach town of Santa Carla is infested with vampires. But not just any vampires. Really freaking cool punk pop rock star vampires. Sam ends up befriending another pair of brothers. the Frog Brothers, who are using their parents' comic book shop on the boardwalk as a front and a home base for their real purpose. They introduce themselves to Sam as vampire hunters. And as Sam kind of just brushes off what they're saying to him as being completely crazy, he does heed their warning of Santa Carla's Children of the Night. Meanwhile, Michael is chasing a young beauty down the boardwalk, and as these two star-crossed lovers start to get to know each other a little bit better, they are met face to face with our titular bloodsuckers. And through a series of tests and using their abilities of manipulation, they're only noodles, Michael. They're only noodles. They convince poor Michael to unintentionally join their bloody clan, making him a glam rock fang gangbanger himself. And with their mother usually busy at her new job or having dinner or a date with her new boyfriend / boss Max, and with Grandpa busy being the local taxidermist and trying to shtup the widow Johnson down the street, the brothers are left alone to face each other. When they find out the only way that they're going to survive this horrible tragedy is by working together, they band with the Frog Brothers to try to save Michael's soul, his girlfriend Star, and her surrogate younger brother, Laddie. They plan an assault against the Def Leppard Draculas in an effort to find out who the head vampire is, to turn the curse back and subsequently save Michael, Star, and Laddie from the vampire's curse. Guys, I absolutely love this movie. It is one of my favorite... Sorry, wrong vampire movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Not just for horror, not now, but soon. Oh, very soon. Sorry. This movie is a perfect blend of black comedy with suspense and horror wrapped in an 80s nostalgia that almost makes it hard to breathe, with an all-star cast of some of the decade's best players in the game. Starring Billy Idol, Kiefer Sutherland, Bill without Ted, Alex Winter, Jason Patric, who actually was in Speed 2, so he replaced Ted. Damn, Keanu, you got burned twice in this review. And you ain't even in this movie. What's up, brother? Hey, what's up, mother brother? Ha! You know, because I can't... Whatever. And of course, the team duo of the 80s themselves, the two Coreys, Feldman and Haim. Schumacher created this memorable and almost reality-bending motion picture before he ruined his own career and almost ruined superhero movies as a whole after showing off Batman and Robin's nipples. With top-notch practical effects, notable transformation sequences that would even rival Michael Jackson's Thriller video, and some of the most unbelievable and spectacular death sequences that would be mimicked and carried on in vampire movies for decades to follow. And the music in this movie is incredible. The soundtrack for this film could stand out on its own without being attached to such a great flick. And side note, did you know that Kiefer Sutherland only signed on to do this movie if the studio agreed to put In Excess on the movie's soundtrack? Damn, he must have been a hardcore In Excess fan. Not gonna lie, for the longest time, I thought that sweaty saxophone wrestler looking dude, for one, was Triple H for many, many years. And then also, I thought that was In Excess. I have my stepfather to thank for setting me straight. Appreciate that, Tim. This movie is basically Blade 2 meets the Goonies. And oddly enough, we got a Goonie on the cast. I couldn't recommend this movie enough. If you're a fan of the MTV generation, if you're a fan of vampire movies, if you're a fan of just really good movies from the 80s that are covered in nostalgia, give Lost Boys a spin. You won't be disappointed whatsoever. Lost Boys can be found on Shudder this month, and I also believe on demand. And out of my patented 5 out of 5 movie rating scale, I give The Lost Boys 5 blood-soaked double-stuffed Oreo cookies that are found in the refrigerator on Pop's second shelf that you know you're not supposed to go into.
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires.
Out of 5. Well, guys, that's our show for this week. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And breaking news, brother! Sorry. Still stuck on the whole brother thing. Ooh, what you gonna do, brother? Anyway, breaking news. Word just got out that The Big Show has left WWE and joined AEW on their commentary team for AEW Dark, and also has a compete clause in his contract, meaning we think we're finally going to get to see Big Show versus Shaq. Do we really want to see that? But I don't know. Other names in this cattle call that have been drawn up recently are Christian, Cesaro, and Ricochet. All have been approached by either Chris Jericho or Jon Moxley to try to join the faction of AEW, really sticking it to WWE. This seems like it's getting a little deep. And on a side note, I found out that WWE put a request out to Netflix to have the Big Show's sitcom, The Big Show Show, removed from its lineup. Damn, Vince, you spiteful. Anyway, like I said before, stay here for updated wrestling updates as they get updated. It's a lot of updates. Oh, and I was supposed to play this thing from the jokester. He wanted to say something to you guys. So, is this thing on? Good. This message is for our creator, Mr. Steely. Apparently, you received an email from the good folks at YouTube that states if you don't reach 1,000 subscribers, the show can no longer continue. Which means if there's no show, then there's no more me. And I have to go back into that dungeon of the head of yours. And I'm not going back. Neither is AJ, neither is Ed Pool. You can keep Terry. So I give you an ultimatum, Mr. Steely. You have 24 hours to make a run for $1 grand. Good luck, Steely boy! Go get him, Tiger. Really? Really? 1,000 subscribers. Well, I've never been one to walk away from a challenge, so you got it. Because this is where geek culture comes to life. Stay tuned, guys. I can do this. Oh, and by the way, this episode is dedicated to my brothers. No, they're not dead or anything. I just love them and miss them. You know I do, guys. See you next time. I got a lot of work to do.